You're watching Day or Night X. X is for exotics. And as you saw in the beginning of this video, I'm gonna do this completely raw, uncut, unedited. I'm just gonna talk. I can't do this subject matter with time restrictions and limitations, and I'm just gonna talk. I have no idea what I'm gonna say in this video, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna use some language. Be you and be genuine is my kind of my tag phrase for my videos and for my channel. Be you and be genuine, and I'm about to be that. I'm Michael Joe Davis / Day or Night. I'm just gonna talk about this subject, and I can't really talk about this without going deep in it. I can't be cookie cutter with it and be like, yes or no, and that's it. I wouldn't be doing service to anybody involved, especially I wouldn't be doing service to the person who asked me this question. So I'm going to answer it honestly, brutally honestly, and I'm going to try to keep it as animal related as I can, but it will spill out into other areas because you asked me a race question, and I don't want to cover this topic 1,000 times. If I don't say it enough, people will be blasting me in the comment section. If I say too much, people are going to blast me in the comment section. So I'm saying fuck it, I'm just going to talk. So we're just going to view this as a discussion. We're sitting, we're talking, we're having a beer, we're having coffee, and I'm just going to talk to you about my experience and what I feel about this subject matter, which how I feel about it might shock you and everybody watching this video. I'm just going to be honest, and I'm just going to lay it out there. So basically, I got asked a question from a young African American. Do I have any issues or any problems? Have I been affected by any type of negative energy coming at me towards my race, my skin color, who I am, an African American? I'm going to answer that very simply, yes and no. Obviously, we live in a country that is very, very racist at times. In certain areas, can be very racist. I live in St. Louis, Missouri. The same place this guy came from. Miles Davis, he's one of my favorite trumpet players of all time. One of my favorite musicians of all time. I'm a trumpet player. I grew up listening to this guy. This is who I wanted to be when I grew up. I'm also wearing my Martin Luther King hat. 306 is the room Martin Luther King was in at the Lorraine Hotel in Memphis, Tennessee, where he was assassinated on the balcony. And I'm also wearing my Power of One shirt. This is actually a work shirt, but the Power of One means a lot. All that coming together, keeping it animal related, none of that shit has anything to do with animals. So you coming into this, if you're worried about race being an issue, I'm not going to tell you that you shouldn't be. I was too. We have a right to be. So I completely understand where you're coming from. But I encourage you to go above that and focus on what your agenda is. And your agenda is, you're excited. You're new into the hobby. You want to get into the hobby. I don't know what animals you are referring to because you didn't really give me any. So I'm just going to just say exotic animals. You're looking to get into it, and you want to know what kind of resistance you're going to meet because you're an African American. And I'm telling you, don't go about it that way. Just be you, and no matter what social media setting or community you're trying to get into, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, it doesn't fucking matter. What you need to do is just concentrate on what's important that you're excited about and keep it focused on that. Exotic animals. You keep it on exotic animals, and then you just have to go through and filter every single issue out one at a time, and don't get ahead of yourself and trip yourself up over stuff that may or may not happen or will happen along the way, depending on where you're wanting to go as far as animal keeping is concerned. So what I'm trying to say to you is, if you keep it about animals, you'll be pleasantly surprised how little people will come at you about racial issues. On Facebook and Instagram, I have never had any issues with somebody calling me out of my name, disrespecting me, calling me a nigger or anything. It's never happened on Facebook or Instagram. Never has happened, and I use those two a lot. Here on YouTube, that's a different story. I'm here to share with you some of the experiences that I've had. Have I been called a nigger on YouTube? Yes, I have. Have I been spewed racial bullshit on me, like, do your tarantulas eat fried chicken, or do your snakes? How can a snake that size swallow watermelon? I know that's what you're feeding them. I get shit like that all the time. You'd be shocked. You'd be fucking shocked. If you went down into my comment section and saw some of the stuff that I have to delete or is deleted by YouTube before I barely even get the video up, you'd be fucking shocked. And even though they are deleted from the video, I still get all notifications from my videos, obviously, when it comes to comments. So I read those comments whether they're deleted or not. I read every single one. Do I give a shit? No, I don't. I don't give a shit because those people are hiding behind their keyboards. One of the differences between YouTube and Instagram and Facebook is that, at least on Facebook and Instagram, you're dealing with people who at a very substantial rate, they have to kind of be themselves just to sign up. There's information that you have to be. You can find out who these people are, so they're a little more hesitant to come at you like that. And YouTube is completely different. You can make a YouTube channel with a YouTube name of "Go fuck yourself," and what are you supposed to do with that? I mean, only people that know who these people are the YouTube administrators. I don't know who the fuck he is. He's a nobody. He's a Google guy, you know. So that's the problem with that. I'm going to roll it back just a little bit and tell you a little bit about my history so I can show you how I deal with this racial issue and how I got to be where I'm at on YouTube, being an African American. There are some challenges, but I'm going to tell you exactly how I got to be where I'm at right now and why I'm so comfortable in my own skin when it comes to dealing with other exotic animal people, races or not, how I deal with them and why I choose to deal with them the way I do. To put this all in perspective, I live in St. Louis, Missouri. I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri. I grew up not even 5 or 10 minutes away from where I live now as an adult. So I pretty much live in the same area that I lived in when I was a kid, and I can tell you instantly that the racial tension has lessened since I was a kid. It's not as thick. When I was a kid, I couldn't get through a day without being called a nigger at least 4 or 5 times from somebody. And honest truth, I used to walk home from school and people, you know, some of the high school kids would drive by just yelling it out of their cars at me. You know, I could be going to the video store, I could be doing anything. I've had people say it to me when I'm coming home from church back when I was a kid. So I also live about less than 10 minutes away, really less than 5 minutes away from Ferguson. We all know what the fuck happened there. You know, everybody, you know, just the whole nation just freaked out. The whole world freaked out about it. You know, the riots, the SWAT team, the police, the looters. It was a big, giant mess, and the tension was so thick around here, you could cut it with a knife. It was insane. I think about that all the time. I was floored by what was going on. But at the same time, I had to understand where we're at today, and with social media, which is a platform obviously that everybody's using, and if you're going to be in the exotic animal community, it's a platform I'm sure you're going to be sharing a lot of your animals on. There's no way to filter out racist people. There's no way to filter out disrespectful people, people with agendas, people with cruel intentions, and you have to understand that you can't let shit like that deter you. You can't let a few bad weeds ruin your yard. You know, you're not going to not go and water your yard because you have a couple weeds. You're going to take care of the weeds. Well, the weeds are going to take care of themselves. So just ignore all the bullshit. Treat it as it is when you walk out of the house every day. You can't control what other people are doing. The only thing you can control is what you're doing. You be you. Don't worry about all these racist people. This is not a Black Lives Matter against, you know, snake community against the Ku Klux Klan snake community, the Black Panther snake community against the Confederates of snakes. You know, it's not like that. It's not like that at all. You take it for what it's worth. You just show those animals and you don't worry about it. And like I said, if anybody who is would be opposed to, or I should say reluctant to get into the community because of that type of thing, knowing that you not only a minority in society, but you're a minority in these groups, that shouldn't deter you. Nobody's gonna rip you for it. I've never been ripped for my snakes on Facebook because I'm black, you know. Now, let's get to the brutally honest part. There are little things, and there's a little gray box there where I have noticed that there are things that I post, and I'm a photographer, I'm a filmmaker. There are times I know people are not liking my photos because I'm black. Those people are entitled to do that. This is a free fucking country. If somebody's like, I don't want to like this guy's photo because he's black, they can see my profile picture and I post a snake, they don't want to do it, that's fine. As long as they're not disrespecting me, then there's no reason for me to care. I don't care. So yeah, some other guy who's white is getting a lot more views because of maybe, you know, obviously he's white and he has a lot. Does that come into play? I'd be lying to you if I said it wasn't. I know it is. But I take it for what it's worth. It's no different than when I wake up every morning and go to work. There's just not as many of me, of my race out there, there is the others. That doesn't mean I'm not going to get up and start my day and go work. And, you know, I'm going to get up and go to work. I'm going to get up and then go for a walk. I'm going to work out. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to do. I'm not thinking, well, I hope I don't run into a racist person today. I do the same with my pictures on YouTube, Instagram, my videos on YouTube. I'm not thinking when I upload anything, I hope somebody doesn't not like this photo because they're racist against me. I don't think like that. Do I notice trends? Of course I do. You know, it's just the way it goes. YouTube is because YouTube is a little different, like I said, because you're dealing with people who are clicking on things. And it's easy to make a comment, put a dislike, and do whatever. But they also feel the need to tell you, you know, hey, you know, you are, you know, it's just the way it goes. I will also tell you, I'm the most I'm not prejudiced at all. I'm not racist at all. I understand where the Black Lives Matter movement is coming from. I understand where the cops are coming from. Trust me, I was like this close away from being in the police academy several times. But I'm also very proud to be black, so I understand what my Black Lives Matters crew, what they're fighting for. I understand all that. But if that's what the view you're looking at with the exotic animal community, you got to tear down that wall and don't worry about that. Those type of political, society type issues don't apply there unless you make it the problem. And if you're bringing it up, that's when, or you're getting defensive or you're calling people out on it, that's when you're going to have some problems. There's no need to do that. You just be yourself and you just show your animals, you make your videos, you upload your pics, you do whatever you need to do. But don't go into it thinking race. I cannot stress that enough. I don't want people thinking every African American is so defensive when it comes to exotic animal communities that they're making a bad name for others who don't give a shit. Because I don't give a shit. So I don't want you to make me have to be on defensive because you're being super defensive. If and when the time comes when you need to be, trust me, I have your back 100%. Because it has happened to me, and I've had people who I thought would have my back run away and just left me high and dry. Do I feel like, you know, it's really not really an easy answer for me to tell you all this stuff. All I can tell you is that you just have to filter out all the bullshit. Don't be ashamed of who you are. Do it. Even if they told you they didn't want you to do it anyway. If somebody says you're a nigger, or they're saying you eat fried chicken, or your animals eat fried chicken, they're being so disrespectful to you and your family, then you be the bigger person. They're beneath you when they do that. They've dropped themselves all the way to the bottom of the ocean when they do that. There's nothing for you to prove at this point. They've already failed. They've already made an ass out of themselves. They're not going to win because they went there. Unnecessarily when it comes to animals, which has nothing to do with race, in my opinion. I'm married to a white woman. She's half German. My son is biracial. Do I think that people give a shit about that in the exotic pet community? No. I don't think they care. So again, separate the racial issues from the animal issues. They're not the same. So if somebody calls you out of your name on some animal shit, there's no need to even care about that person. It doesn't happen enough. That person is sick in the head. They're not even worth worrying about. So, and there are a ton of African American people in this community. People just don't see it because just because you're African American doesn't mean you have to be like, hey, I'm African American, I like snakes too. It doesn't work like that. So don't go into it thinking I'm by myself, I'm a minority. No, it does not work like that. Don't even think like that. It's a global community. There are people from the Philippines, there are people from Australia, there's people from Brazil, there's people from China, there's people from all over the fucking world in this community on these forums. So don't think United States, think global. If you think United States and you think in state and you think in town and you're putting yourself in a bubble unnecessarily because that's not the case. I don't view it like that because I'm not just, when I upload my video, it's not just the United States. It's all over the world. And I have a lot of friends from all over the world. I have a friend from the Philippines. I have a friend from Australia. I have a friend from Europe. I have a friend from Japan. I have a friend from I mean, just all over the fucking place. So think big. Don't think small. Does it matter if somebody calls you out of your name with a racial slur? Of course it does. But you deal with that as needed, and you deal with it with your bar set high, and you let them sink. The most important thing I can say to you is have fun. This is supposed to be fun. It is fun. Again, I wouldn't be doing it if it was racist. Trust me. I would have been out a long time ago. Haven't experienced it really. Anybody could say anything at any time. That doesn't mean I'm supposed to give up my animals. There's too many good people out there on opposite of the community as far as race goes. There are a ton of good people out there, and that's what they are, people. Don't look at it as race. Don't bring that into the community. It's unnecessary. We are here to have fun, educate, learn, and experience and share a common interest. Anything outside of that, thumbs down. Don't worry about it. Do not worry about it. If you have any more questions or concerns, you can contact me anytime at dayornightx@gmail.com. If you're new to my channel and you like what you saw, please subscribe, like, comment, share. If you're African American, welcome. No need to be afraid, no need to run. We are all in this together, and I truly believe it'll remain that way. There's nothing racial-wise that's going to split people apart when it comes to exotic animal keeping, breeding, programs, etc. No room for it, no tolerance, and trust me, there are so many good people in these forums, in these communities, and on YouTube, and social media, and Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest, Tumblr. There's so many good people out there. Let them experience you. Let them experience you and your animals and your passion. Your passion is going to override anything you have race-wise. Don't let people fucking drag you down. Don't let one negative fucking person drag you down into a swamp you can't get out of. Because once you open that box, there's no going back. If you ignore them, you be the bigger person. I cannot stress that enough. I hope this helps you. If I need to do a follow-up video on this, I will. I'm sure a lot of questions are going to pop up out of this, and I'm prepared for them, and I will answer them the best I can as they come. That'll do it for this one. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Be you and be genuine. Press that notification button so you don't miss an episode, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Be safe, and thanks for the question.